Hey guys. Hey, hey. Oh, yeah, that's not gonna work. Hello, hello. It's been a little while. Thank you. Hey, Alyssa. Hold on, I gotta turn my fan on. It's hot in here. Okay, Hannah. So, I've had kind of a crazy day today, but I just had a thought, and I thought I should periscope that thought. So I'm here. Jamming out to some Hillsong United. Anybody go to the concert? We went just this last Friday in Dallas. It was amazing. Yes, I did. It's on my catch. My new office. I did scope it, and it's on there. So if you go to my catch, you can find it. Oh, thank you. It was fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. I love all those people that did the social media class. It was a lot of fun to be a part of. We had a good time. All right, so this is probably not, you're welcome. It was, like I said, it was fun. This is probably not like the best time to do a scope, but this is when I have available because I have to go cook dinner in a little bit. So now is better than never. So like I said, I was thinking this afternoon, I've had a bit of a hectic day. Tuesdays and Thursdays are my work days. And my daughter, both my girls go to school on those days, and one of them came home. She wasn't feeling well. So like 10:30, I got a call that I had to go pick her up, which is not what I was planning on doing today. But I don't know about y'all, but my February has been really good personally. Hopefully you guys have had a really good February with the sale and just it not being January. My January was pretty dry, and but personally, I mean, my team has been amazing as well, but personally, my February has been really exciting. And so just thinking about that and thinking about my journey, I wanted to get on and kind of encourage some of you that maybe haven't been doing this as long, or maybe this is your first year in Young Living. My name's Jessica Jacobs. I'm in Young Living. I'm Platinum. I've been in Young Living for this May. It'll be 4 years. Been doing the business for about 3. So something that I've shared with my team before, but I think it gets forgotten a lot, is that network marketing is a cyclical business. And this is kind of true about, any kind of retail sales or anything like this, but a lot of times I think because of the nature of our business, and if you haven't been in it for, longer than a couple years, if it's only been about a year, you might not know this. And so I wanted to share this with you guys. I'm not an expert, but like I said, I've been doing this for 3 years seriously, and so I've started to notice some trends. And if you're not aware of these trends, sometimes it can be really disappointing or frustrating. And so I want you to know that you're not doing anything wrong, but here's kind of some things that you can do. So like I said, it's very cyclical. And what I have found is there will be months and, periods. The springtime is typically awesome for Young Living. Every spring has been just huge growth. Lots of people joining, people, buying, people doing classes, and it's been a lot of fun. Doesn't mean that it will always be that way. But what I have found is that, when I'm having a bad month or a bad couple months, that usually means that, there's something coming around the corner. But again, if you haven't been in it long enough to know that, it's going to get better, that you're kind of at the bottom of the roller coaster and it's about to go back up, you might be tempted to quit. And this is why so many times when I was scoping regularly, I used to say, basically, whatever you do, don't quit. If you don't quit, you can succeed. And obviously you have to do something in order to succeed. You can't just sit there and say, okay, I'm not quitting, but you're never talking to people, or, that doesn't work. So that's not an excuse to be lazy, but it's you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, and it's going to change. And so that's where I find myself. The last couple months I've just been hanging on. I keep talking to people, and but something that changed for me, and here's something that okay, so I've been in for a couple years. First year, taught a ton of classes, right, for other people, was talking to everybody. Yes, and that was something else that I wanted to talk about too, spending more than you're making. We're going to talk about that. Taught a bunch of classes the first year. Second year, I started working on leading my team and doing more business building stuff. Last year, I didn't teach many intro classes. I didn't have, I had a personal sign up or two. I was constantly talking to people and, working on getting my own signups. But I realized that last fall, I hadn't been teaching classes, very many classes. I've been doing, monthly business meetings and, supporting my team and creating tools and things like that. But I realized that I needed to get back out there and teach some classes. Thank you, Courtney Kreitz. She mentioned something at a training recently and realized that she was in that same position, that she wasn't teaching intro classes, and realized that a lot of her team had stopped doing it as well. So I decided, okay, I'm going to start teaching intro classes. So this month I taught 2. One of those classes, one person showed up, and the other one, there were about 10 people. They were my team's builders, the second class was, but I know, but what ended up happening in this last 2 weeks, things have started to explode, and I found myself, I have 3 classes next month, all for new builders. I've had a couple, 3 or 4 personal signups, which is crazy for me where I'm at right now. And so I'm really excited. And so, like I said, I wanted to encourage you guys that, if you've had a bad couple months, that the worst thing you can do is quit, because then there's no chance of succeeding. And the best thing you can do is to keep going, is to do your business on purpose. It's to plan a class. And this is something that I went through with my team, is we did a Get Prepared challenge. And the very first thing we had them do was to plan their next 2 classes. You put those classes, in your calendar, and you make out flyers that have the class information on it, and you put them in your purse. Because the next time you encounter somebody, all of a sudden your mindset has shifted, and you are planning on doing these classes, and now all of a sudden you have a class to invite them to, and it's not well, send me your email, and when I have a class available, I'll invite you. No, it's you have a class on the books, and now you're starting, it changes your mindset. You're excited, you're prepared, you're ready to hand out samples and say, here, come to my class. It really does make a difference. And just being prepared, to invite people, to sign people up, have those things in your purse. Being able to hand somebody a flyer right away makes, a much better impression than, I'll, get in touch with you. What are classes? Are you in Young Living? Classes for essential oils. That's what I do. So, teaching people about essential oils. So, it's a roller coaster. Hang on, because it's going to go up. And when it does go up, it's really exciting. And it just, a lot of times, Jared Turner talked about this at convention last year. No. Maybe he talked about it last May at the Fort Worth meeting. He was talking about momentum, and how if you've got a locomotive that's moving, it's almost impossible to stop. But if there's a locomotive that's standing still, you put a brick in front of the wheel and it can't go. When you start to feel that momentum, and you start to get those signups, and you start to get, somebody that is willing to host a class, capitalize on that. It's exciting. Keep going. Movement begets movement. The more you're doing, when it's the right things, a lot of times it's going to get you further because you're excited about it and you're moving in the right direction. Something else that I've been talking to my team about is getting back to the basics. And I've been doing this for myself. Like I said, I wasn't teaching intro classes. Well, that's one of the most basic things you can do to grow your business. Okay, find a local coffee shop, find a local, Panera or a tea shop, or, find somewhere that you can host classes on a regular basis. Plan on having at least one a month, if not more. And get back to teaching classes. When I started doing that, all of a sudden I started seeing movement. And like I said, I've got classes planned next month for new builders, which is I've got 3 of them planned. I'm pretty excited about it. Something else is the dry spells help you appreciate the flood, because the flood will come. Okay, that up part of the roller coaster has to come. But a lot of times, those months where maybe you don't have any signups, or you only have 1, or, you're desperately looking for a new builder, those months of frustration and trying new things and all that, when the upside comes, all of a sudden you appreciate it way more than you did before. So, you know, the dry spells are not for nothing. The hard months, again, a lot of times that's when you do your personal development. You read books, you listen to calls, but get back to the basics. And this is kind of ties in with the money thing. Don't spend more than you are making. Okay. Keep it simple. Like super simple, right? KISS. It is not necessary to send out samples to everyone in your downline. It is not necessary to do incentives at the end of every month to get people to order. It is not necessary to do giveaways every month. I did not do any of that for over my first year because I wasn't making enough. And I grew, almost to gold before I did any of that. And Alyssa Francis says I'm right, so you should listen to me. She's a Royal Crown Diamond for those of you that don't know. She's my upline. But yeah, I didn't do giveaways because it wasn't necessary. You don't have to do those things to build your business. It's really tempting. And a lot of people, you know, some people will tell you they have success, but here's the math teacher in me coming out. A lot of times giveaways and incentives don't actually give as much movement as you think that they do. In reality, you just contacting them and saying, hey, do you have any questions? Can I help you? They're not sustainable. So true. A lot of times you just contacting them and making the effort and the contact will get them to order. After you've taught an intro, do you keep teaching intros or teach your team secondary classes? Both. Honestly, keeping the intro classes is how you get new people on your team. So that's important. You can switch to, you could either do one intro class every month and, you know, one secondary class, or, you know, every other month do a secondary class. It doesn't really matter. I would not quit doing the intro classes. You know, maybe you do an intro class every other month and then on the opposite months you do a different class, but it definitely wouldn't hurt. You need to keep those intro classes there because they're important. So anyway, the money. Like I was saying, a lot of times you just contacting people will get them to order. You don't even actually have to like offer them anything. So I was talking about the math teacher in me. I like seeing statistics, but I like seeing like valid statistics. And that's part of the problem. Sometimes people say, oh, I offered this incentive and I hit silver that month. Well, in reality, they probably, you know, didn't have to offer that incentive. That's right. Just care about people, care calls. You just taking the, you know, making the effort to reach out and to contact someone and to see if they need anything. I can't tell you how many times in my personal business, some of my personal signups, like this one girl, I see her once a year. And every time I see her, she starts like ordering after I see her. All it takes is, you know, me contacting her. Do you have a resource for a secondary class? Just what I have made up. You know, I've done with my team classes on, you know, different products, different lines of products. You can do a Beyond the Basics class is good. And really all you're doing in the Beyond the Basics class is picking out, you know, like after the starter kit, maybe your next 5 oils that you like and 5 non-oil products. Cover those 10 products and that's it. You maybe talk about Essential Rewards and Ningxia Red. Those are 2 really big things that you can talk about in a secondary class. Again, you could get into, you know, a skincare line class or a home class or, you know, all these different ones, but you don't have to. So, yeah, make your own. That's what I did, really. So don't let it get you stuck. You can do it. But like I said, make it simple. Pick your, you know, 10 favorite products outside of the starter kit and do a class on that. Silvers who do this, yes. Okay, so silvers that do incentives and have to like buy a lot of stuff to hit silver, I would say probably 80 to 90% of the time don't maintain it. And that's, I've seen that in my business too. Okay, somebody asked about Panera Bread. Sometimes find a local place that has like a back room. A lot of them will do it for free. You don't have to have a back room, especially if if you're only going to have 2 or 3 people there. You can go sit at a booth in Panera and talk about it. You don't have to reserve, you know, a room or even an area, a coffee shop, stuff like that. Just go sit down and talk with, you know, 2 or 3 people. You don't have to necessarily reserve it. The Panera Bread by our house has a back room, but then they also have a front area that we have reserved. And a lot of times they'll let you come in because, you know, they know that they're going to get business from your people. You're going to be there for an hour to 2 hours. So, you know, I haven't had many issues with any of that kind of stuff. I do not buy them food. Nope. They can come and buy their own food, but that's it. It's little to no cost for me to host the class. They're coming to, you know, get the information. There's no pressure for them to eat there. There are times, like there's a local tea shop, and I know one person was saying that they would go and, you know, maybe, I think they were saying like they would tell their people like, go get a drink on me, you know, that kind of a thing. But that is not something that's absolutely necessary either. At our class that we had, I would say over half the people went and bought a drink, and, you know, we didn't pay for it. So do you have to tell them ahead of time? Sorry for all the questions. It depends. It depends on how many people you're expecting. You know, again, if it's less than 5, I wouldn't think so. Yeah. The tea shop that we found recently, they have kind of a little area that's sort of in the back, and we kind of reserved that area. But, you know, if it's less than 5, I wouldn't worry about it. But if your RSVPs start getting up there, then you might want to call and make sure it's okay. And if for some reason it's not okay, you can totally change the location. But yeah, I don't know who you are. Bye. All right. So that is, unless you guys have more questions, that's about all that I have. I just wanted to get on and share some encouragement and, you know, let you know that regardless of what last month or even this month looks like for you, get back to the basics. Keep it simple. Don't spend a lot of money. You're going to get burned out. And all of a sudden this is going to become a really expensive investment. Thank you. Good. Well, I hope it has, because, you know, like I said, if you haven't been doing this for more than a year, you don't know that, you know, hey, this is only a season and I'm going to come out of this season. It's going to get better. Just because, you know, I didn't get any signups this month doesn't mean that it's always going to be like that. So don't quit. Go back to the basics. Keep it simple. You know, start planning classes, start doing things on purpose, be prepared, have starter guides in your purse, have samples in your purse, have, you know, a flyer for your next class in your purse with you, so that when you run into somebody and you get talking about oils, you don't go, oh man, I wish I had, you know, fill in the blank to hand you. You have it all in your purse. So, all right, y'all, go make a good, healthy dinner. I'm going to try. Do you place new members under a business builder? I'm going to scope my stash soon. Nice. Does it compare to Adam Green's? That's what everybody's going to wonder. That's a personal, like, depending on your structure question. I should do mine too, because it's fun to look at. It's fun to see other people's and how they organize it. Stacking people and placing people, strategically placing people. That depends on your structure and where you're at. Okay, I'll come back to starter guides. If you are trying to hit silver, I would work on at least no less than 3 legs, okay? But don't shoot yourself in the foot and not build, you know, for diamond or Royal Crown diamond. Where I'm at, I have all of my legs already in place. And so at this point, all my personal signups go under business builders. Because I don't need any extra legs. So I am working on building up my legs. I don't need OGB. I need PV in my legs to hit the next ranks. So yes, all of my people go under business builders, but that depends on where you're at. And I would have your upline help look at your structure for you and help you plan. Starter guides. There are 2 really good places for starter guides. You may or may not know about them, but Oil Revolution Designs is one place. Lori Gordon has them. They come in 2 different sizes. They're awesome. There's a smaller size that I like to keep in my purse, and those are great to mail out. She has a bigger size as well. And then KRE came out with one recently, and I just got that one, and I love that one. That one's really cool. So those, what I've been doing, if you don't have good class notes, I literally like read the starter guide in my classes. They're super succinct. They have all the... Oh, that's so funny. Sorry, a message just came through. So all the like information is there. You literally like it talks what an essential oil is, why Young Living, and it goes through all the oils in the starter guide. It's awesome. So KRE.com or Oil Revolution Designs. If you Google it, you'll find it. So super great. And then I send those, you know, when the people come to a class, I let them take those home. but that's also what I teach from. So you can get them between $1 and $2 a piece. That's like the most expensive thing that I would say is good to have. That's a great question. Which do I prefer? Right now, like I said, I just got the KRE ones last week and I really like them. But I would go for whichever one, you know, you can get for the best price. They both do the same thing. They both cover, you know, good information. So if you can get your hands on one to look at it, you can look at it and kind of make your own decision. But again, they're between $1 and $2 a piece. That's the most expensive thing that I would say you need for a class. But even then, you don't need it. It's just nice to have it, and it's really good information to send home with someone. So yeah. All right, y'all. I'm going to let you go cook dinner. Have a good night.